What's going on, you guys? EP09 back here with another video. Today we have a physique update from Kai Greene at 47 years old, and it's time for Mike Sommerfeld to enter the conversation for a shot at the title in the Classic Physique division at the upcoming Arnold. And we have some very interesting words from Breon Ansley. In a recent update, Breon outlines his plans for the upcoming 2023 season as he enters the 212 division, and his plans do include competing at the 2023 Olympia, but they do not include competing to qualify.
My plan is to get a special invite, guys, to the Olympia this year. I will be asking Dan Sullivan for a special invite, Jake Wood for a special invite.
So Kai Greene recently dropped a physique update on his Instagram, and in typical Kai Greene fashion and choice of attire, we see what Kai is looking like at 47 years old. And I have to say, he does look pretty good. You can still see striations in the quads, shoulders, and chest. His shoulders still look as big as ever. His biceps were always ridiculous. So yeah, this is a very impressive 47-year-old Kai Greene. Kai hasn't been on a bodybuilding stage since 2016, although he did spend a few years dropping hints at competing again, only to never take the stage. In fact, he received three special invites to the Olympia and turned them all down. A lot of you remember some of this stuff, I'm sure. This actually made some fans pretty angry to the point where they didn't even want to see him compete again. They didn't even want to see him on a stage. It definitely annoyed me a little bit, or actually maybe it annoyed me a little bit more than that. But look, you can't deny how impressive Kai was and still is. And I think at this point, it's safe to say that Kai is done competing. For his time to finish second in the Olympia 3 times in 2012, 2013, and 2014, his legacy has definitely been secured as one of the greats of the sport. His legacy will be written for his artistic style of posing and presentation, always showing up in shape, and generally saying many things and absolutely nothing when he would speak in the past in interviews. Listen, if you know what I'm talking about, then you know. So one guy that's not being talked about leading up to the Arnold Classic is Mike Sommerfeld, and I think it's time to insert him into that conversation in Classic Physique. Ramon and Urs have a lot of hype after finishing second and third respectively at the 2022 Olympia, but after Mike's 5th place finish, and I didn't even see him coming to be honest with you, this time he's coming to show that he should be a part of that conversation for the win. Mike does have all the tools to do it too, I think. He comes in pretty well conditioned, he has those classic lines and flow that's absolutely perfect for the division. And I can't understand why he's not on more people's radar leading up to the Arnold. Now I will say, I understand why he got 5th at the Olympia. Mike looked like he was just a tiny bit soft at the Olympia, like he was holding a film of water or something like that. You can see the separation between the bicep and the tricep when he extends his arm. It's just lacking a little bit. The striations in his chest on stage during his individual routine could have been more defined. I'm not sure what his weight cap is, but with a little bit more size overall, he could be very, very competitive as well, especially with just a bit more depth in his back. But I think he did bring an overall great package and that he can bring an even better package at the Arnold. Increasing in size will have to wait until the offseason, but if Mike can dial in his conditioning, he'll be pushing at least Urs Kalasinski, if not Ramon Dino as well. It will be a tough battle, but I think Mike has the tools to get it done. So this next story I think is really going to cause some controversy no matter what side of the fence you're on. Breon Ansley recently gave an update on his plans for the 2023 season as he enters the 212 division, and I immediately assumed that Breon would be competing in order to qualify for the 212 Olympia, but apparently Breon may have other plans.
My plan is to get a special invite, guys, to the Olympia this year. I'll be able to compete for life in Classic, since you win that one time, but you can compete in the same division for life without requalifying if you don't win it again or if you don't get top 3. So I will be asking Dan Sullivan for a special invite, Jake Wood for a special invite to the Olympia for this year.
Now look, special invites are always a controversial topic. I mentioned Kai Greene earlier in this video where he had 3 special invites to compete at the Olympia and he turned them all down. Big Ramy had a special invite in 2020 to compete in the Olympia, and he won that year. Derek Lunsford as well got the special invite to compete in 2022, and he took second without having to qualify. So I think the only non-controversial special invite was when Cedric McMillan got one, because he couldn't compete due to his military obligations. But otherwise, it's always controversial, and Breon's is especially interesting because he's publicly stating that he is going to ask for that special invite. Now, I think you're going to have 2 perspectives on this. On the one hand, Breon did win the Classic Physique title twice in 2017 and 2018 and is consistently a top 3 or 4 placing competitor in Classic, so one could argue that he deserves the special invite. On the other hand, getting an invitation and asking for an invitation are two different things. It would be one thing for the IFBB to extend the offer to Breon, but I think for him to ask for that special invite could rub some people the wrong way. Now, Breon does go on to say that he will compete to qualify for the 212 Olympia if he has to, because he won't compete unless he puts on the necessary size to be top 3 material in the 212 Olympia for the 2023 season. So he might push off his plans to compete until the 2024 season. But this asking for a special invite could definitely cause some controversy, or at least some conversation. Now, do I think Breon deserves a special invite to the 212 Olympia? Well, I guess without getting too far into it in this video, Breon is a 2-time champion in Classic. I think Sean Clarita should have been able to compete in the Open as well as the 212. I did not disagree with Derek Lunsford getting a special invite to compete in the Open Olympia because he was a 212 champion. So yes, I do think Breon deserves a special invite. Now, do I like that he's going to ask for it? So that I don't like as much. I will admit that. Like I said, asking for an invite, it's not really an invite, and I'm sure there's some of you out there that agree with me on that one. You know what? Leave me a comment down below on what you guys think of that. I'll be really interested to hear your opinions on this one. Anyway, that's it for me in today's video, you guys. Thanks for tuning in to EP09. Be sure to like and subscribe.